Arne Slot, new Liverpool manager starting next year. So it seems locked on. Almost here we go levels. A big, bald man from the Eastern Netherlands. His surname, a boon to English tabloid headline writers. How will he slot in? Liverpool playing the slot machine way. This is on field. And a special one safer when he's ultimately dismissed. Arne Geddon. I mean, this is a gent quite beloved in Dutch football at Feyenoord, his swashbuckling style, which brought that Trots van Zoid, the pride of the South, decidedly the third biggest club in the Netherlands, only their second title this millennium last season. But on the other hand, Premier League history not been too kind to Dutch balls or Dutch managers of any kind. So pass this one for us. As something of a Feyenoord specialist yourself, Rory, is Arne Slot the next power ball the Premier League needs? Or will he be the next in line of bald frauds to like a toupee? Flatter to deceive.
It's funny because we generally have a perception that the Netherlands produces great managers as much as it produces great players. English clubs shop in the Netherlands surprisingly frequently for players in particular and for managers occasionally. And yet there is this sense that maybe the gap between the two leagues, which has always been relatively large, has grown to a point where they're maybe operating in different worlds. The gap between Liverpool, who occupy that same realm of the super clubs as Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and Manchester City and Manchester United, is so separate now from anywhere else across Europe that you don't really know what you're going to get. Arne Slot's never worked with players of the caliber that he will find at Anfield, apart from maybe Darwin Nunez. He's never worked with global stars. He's never had to deal with egos. He's never had to deal with the pressure of being expected not only to be in the Champions League, but to go really far in the Champions League. So everything he's done at Feyenoord is encouraging. Won the title, huge achievement. Won the Dutch Cup, huge achievement. Made the final of the Europa Conference League in its initial iteration, the world's greatest club competition. That's a good sign. But it's a massive leap to Liverpool. So I think there is as there was always going to have to be, a huge element of gamble about it.
And your full list, because I am a completionist of Dutch Premier League coaches. Guus Hiddink, probably the best. Louis van Gaal at United. Ten Hag labouring there right now. Other names, really a mixed bag. Ronaldo Koeman, Martin Jol, Ruud Gullit, Dick Advocaat at Sunderland. Oh, those were the days. René Moulenstein, fleetingly. And the truly tragic Frank de Boer. So much filler there.
As someone who has absolutely no vested interest in this appointment whatsoever, Rog, that I think it makes sense. I think Liverpool will have, knowing a couple of the people involved, will have conducted as thorough and scientific and logical a process to find Klopp's replacement as possible. I think apart from Xabi Alonso, who obviously made it clear he was staying at Bayer Leverkusen for another year, there wasn't really an outstanding candidate. All of the people with more experience than Slot at the top level would have been flawed in, I think, relatively significant ways. Thomas Tuchel is the best example of that. A European Cup winner, a champion in France, and technically in Germany, although he shouldn't take too much credit for Bayern winning the league last year because it was quite embarrassing, really. But he falls out with people all the time. He isn't a long-term manager. There's very little in his career.
It's a football word. He's a bit of a prick.
I don't think he is. I think Thomas Tuchel is. People speak really highly of him. All I don't know him personally.
In a football setting, just abrasive, the power battles, political games. It's not what Liverpool want or need right now.
I think there comes a point with Tuchel that although you do hear positive reports about him as a person, you have to assume that he's fallen out with people at Bayern, he fell out with people at Chelsea, he fell out with people at PSG. That becomes a red flag after a while. The risk with Slot is that is the same as it would have been with basically anybody as soon as Alonso was out the running.
Oh, how will Arne Slot fit in? I know Jamie Carragher, tweet by tweet, sounds like he's crapping himself. But before Slot suits up in his Jurgen Klopp-sized tracksuit and baseball cap, he does look like one of the greatest non-Scousers, Arne Slot. So he's like a Harvey Elliott, but without hair. People who were not born in Liverpool, but oh my God, look like they were born in Liverpool. Take it from me.